Hi, so for this video, we're going to start in our Bitmoji classroom. That's generally a pretty good place to start every single day. And today for our video, we're going to be looking at the syllabus. I want to do the syllabus online because we have so little class time together. I don't want to waste that. I know that you can watch the video, and if you have any questions, you are welcome to email me, or at the end of this ed puzzle, you will have a place where you can type in any questions. So please make sure you are actually watching this and paying attention to it, because there will be questions that you are asked, and you will be getting a grade for completing this assignment. So when we start in our Bitmoji classroom, we can go to present. Now, when we look at this beautiful, beautiful classroom that I've made, I'm just kidding. I hope you like it. Where do we think would be a good place to go? Let's start with important resources. If nothing else seems to fit, important resources is a good place to start. Oh, look, here we are. Notebook, table of contents, daily journals, syllabus. Click here for the 2020-21 science syllabus. So that will bring up our syllabus in a minute once it loads. And I actually have it open another tab already, so I'm gonna cheat. Okay, so we can see it here. And we're just going to go through this together. I'm going to kind of read it and explain some things if I feel like they need to be explained. You should be looking at this at the same time you're watching the video, or you can just be looking at my screen since you can see it here. So it says, welcome to Science at Infinity Middle School. It's a pleasure to be your 7th grade science teacher, and I'm so excited about the learning adventures that lie ahead of us for this upcoming year. I know that this will be a very different and challenging year for all of us, but I will do my best to make this as painless as possible for my students or for you guys. I truly look forward to getting to know every single one of you for as much time as we have. And I want to make sure that you develop the skills that you need to think, explore, and create as scientists, because that's what you are. You're mini scientists. Included below are some tips and resources to help you be successful in the science classroom this year. Please take a moment to look over the information, as it will serve as a guide. So my contact information, that is an L, okay? So actually, let me make that a capital L, just so it's really obvious. It's lsherman3@cherrycreekschools.org. That's my classroom phone number, and that is my new classroom. I moved. I'm in the other purple hallway from last year. So what should you bring class every day? You need to bring your science notebook. You need to have a pencil or pen. Colored pencils would be great. A highlighter would be great. But even if you just show up with a science notebook and a pencil every day, I can make that work. For your science notebook, I really, really, really want you to have one with a plasticky cover. It will last so much better. And also you want it so that a full sheet of paper can fit in your notebook without having to cut it or fold it. What are we going to learn about this year? We're going to learn about chemical reactions and matter transformations. You're going to get to use that periodic table. We're going to learn about energy and chemical reactions. We're going to dive deeper into metabolism and metabolic reactions. We're going to talk about how matter cycles through the environment and photosynthesis. We're going to talk about ecosystem dynamics and natural resources and the impact that humans are having on Earth, good and bad. So how will I know what's going on in class? When you're here in person, I will expect you to use your planner, but Schoology is going to be your go-to, and not just Schoology. You should be looking in this Bitmoji classroom, because in our Bitmoji classroom, you will also be able to, let me go back. In our Bitmoji classroom, when you click the weekly agenda, it will take you to what we're doing that week. So there's a lot of different pieces of information here. Here's some common links. So I don't want to spend all of our time going through that, but there's a lot of stuff there. This one. Power School. Power School is where you go to check your grades. If you look at your grades in Schoology, your grade will not be accurate, because not every single thing is going to be turned into Schoology. When we do our science notebook checks, they're going to be turned into Flipgrid. When we do assessments, they're going to be in a different platform. So all the information will still start in Schoology, and then it will direct you other places. So always start in Schoology, but when you check your grades, you need to go to Power School. Can I turn in late work? Yes, you can turn in late work to earn up to a 75% on it. So it can only be turned in within 2 weeks of when it's posted in Power School. So if I posted in Power School on Monday, you have 2 weeks from that day to turn it in late. If you're turning in something late digitally, please just let me know really quick. Send me an email or a Microsoft Teams message and say, hey, Ms. Sherman, I turned in that assignment from last week. If you can go in and add that for me, that'd be great. Perfect. Because it doesn't always notify me if you turn in something late. So please just let me know if something is being turned in after I've already graded it. If you want to redo an assignment, you can redo an assignment to earn up to a 75%. Again, that is also within 2 weeks of when it's posted in PowerSchool. Assessments. Can you retake an assessment? So sometimes you might not do as well on an assessment as you'd like. So you do have an opportunity to improve your score. So this can come in 2 ways. Sometimes we're going to do quiz or test corrections where you'll go through and you'll fix what you did wrong. And other times we will have retakes. So either one will be available for every type of major assessment. Okay, but what it chooses to be could be different. Grading policies. This is different from last year. So last year we weighted 70% for assessments and 70% for assessments and 30% for practice, because we know some more learning is going to be happening at home this year. We wanted to put a little bit more of an emphasis on that. So we made it so that only 60% of your grade is based on assessments and 40% is based on practice. So if you're doing the homework and participating and doing the classwork and making sure all your notebook checks are going to be great, that'll actually help you more. So this is in your benefit. So even if you don't do so well on a test, you working on all of the other stuff and doing a good job with it can help to raise your grade. So that's a good thing. Grading scale. 90 to 100 is an A, 80 to 89 is a B. I do not round grades. I'm sorry, if you have a 79.999, I do not round. The reason I don't round is because then it's not fair to someone else. Why is a 99.99 a B then? I mean, there has to be a cutoff somewhere. So my cutoff is 80.0 for a B. My cutoff is 90.0 for an A. I will not bump you. Okay, I'm telling you now, I do not do that because it's not fair to everybody. So why should a 79.8 not be rounded and a 79.9 be rounded? So in order to keep everything clean and be fair, I don't round grades. What you earn is what you get. Grading codes. If you're absent, it'll show up as absent in PowerSchool. There's a little mark. If you do not do it, you will receive an NHI and you will receive a 50% grade, and you have 2 weeks to turn it in late. So if you want to get rid of that NHI, you only have 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, it stays that way. So that's our 50% rule. If you were here last year, it's very similar. You can only earn that 50% on practice assignments. So what that means is if you get a 40% on an assessment, you keep that 40%. But on anything that's in that practice category, that 40% part of your grade, nothing here you will receive less than a 50% on. But assessments, you get what you get. You get what you earn. Okay. Science notebooks. We are going to be checking science notebooks about every 2 weeks. It is going to be your responsibility to keep your notebook up to date, keep it on track. If you need help with your notebook, you can ask me. I will keep my notebook. It's a different color. This is a different notebook, but you will be able to look at my notebook. You'll be able to check the table of contents. Everything will be in a place where you can get to it. And then when we do notebook checks, they're actually going to be through Flipgrid. So you're going to make your notebook, you're going to have your notebook all done. Let me find a page. And then you'll say, okay, on this page we did this and I learned this. On this page we did this and I learned this, and through a video. So you'll do those at home on Mondays, and I will be grading them based on that. Every notebook check this year is going to be worth the same amount of points. So last year there was a certain number of points per page, and this year it's going to be different. So this year every single notebook check is worth 20 points. So every 2 weeks we'll have a 20-point notebook check. So it'll probably end up being about the same amount of points, but we're going to be checking them more often. What if I miss school? This again might look a little different this year, but if you are absent on an in-person day, I will try and get everything for you. But in-person days and virtual days are going to look a little different, but we'll work together to get things figured out. If there's anything you're missing, please contact me. In our weekly agenda, it'll show you what we're doing for that week, so you can see normally ahead of time what you're going to be missing if you know you're going to be out. Or you can let me know, like, hey, Ms. Sherman, I saw that we were doing page 8 in class on Thursday and I wasn't there. What can I do to make it up? And then I'll get you caught up. Cell phones and other electronics. So you have the opportunity to bring your phone to school, but I should not see it. It should be in your backpack. It should be in your pocket. Basically, I shouldn't know if you have a cell phone or not. Unless there's a very specific reason you need it, then you need to ask me in order to have it out on your table. If you have your phone out on your table and something happens, I don't want to be responsible for it. So by you having it in your pocket or you having it in your backpack, it is safe. And if you are going to use your cell phone for something in my class and you've asked me permission and I've said yes, my expectation is that you keep your phone flat on the table so that I can walk by and even just peek to make sure you're checking in. You should not be texting during class. You should not be answering phone calls during class. And you should not be on any type of social media during class. We have a very small amount of time together, and you shouldn't be distracted, okay? Restroom policy. Restroom's going to look different this year because we're only allowed to have a certain number of people in the restroom at each time. 7th grade has a specific 7th grade bathroom, and so all 7th grade students will be using the same one. And since there are a limited number of stalls in the restroom, we have limited number of students who are allowed to go. So just like any time before, only one student is allowed to leave the class at a time, and only 3 male students and 3 female students are allowed in each bathroom. So if there's 3 male students in the bathroom already, they'll have to wait until 1 goes back to class, just so we're in compliance with all of the social distancing requirements for this year. So students, you guys will learn a little bit more about that process when you get here in person. Or whenever, you might already know. Plagiarism. So please do not cheat. Please do not copy and paste without giving credit to your source, okay? There will be consequences for that, and you guys can read that on your paper syllabus, but don't do that. Extra help. When we're in school, I'm not allowed to help you before school, and I'm not allowed to help you after school. So lunchtime is kind of your only option while we are in person. You can also make an appointment with me on Mondays to do conferences, or not conferences, office hours. So I'll have office hours through Microsoft Teams on Mondays from 10 to 10:50 a.m. So from 10 to 10:50 a.m. on Mondays, I will be sitting here in front of my computer waiting for you if you need help. I'm going to start with sign-up sheets and see how that goes. And if we don't need a sign-up sheet, I'll just kind of be like, you can call me if you need it during that time. You can also email me during that time, and I should be able to get back to you pretty quickly. Important note, due to current circumstances regarding COVID-19, some aspects of the syllabus might have to change. So while you are learning at home, this will not be like last year in regards to remote instruction. You will be getting grades, and you will be expected to check Schoology and be working on schoolwork every single day during the academic week. So let's say it's a Tuesday and you're in cohort B and you don't come physically to school on Tuesday. You still have to check in on Tuesday online. So I'm going to have a way of taking attendance. I'm going to explain that to you when you guys are here in person, but you will be responsible for clicking in, showing that you're there every day on Schoology doing work. So there are expectations for you. This is not going to be, I have like 1 assignment for the whole week, kind of like last year. It's going to be much more challenging and much more time consuming. You should be expecting to spend about the same amount of time per day as if you were in person. All right, mask policy. Students and staff at Infinity are expected to wear a mask at all times with the exception of eating and drinking. Since I am currently in my classroom by myself and the door is closed and I'm making a video for you, I have mine off, but I do have it right here. So as long as it aligns with district policy, I don't mind having you with a water bottle in class, but this is kind of what it should look like. You should have your mask on, you get your water, you open it, right? So that your mask is off for as little time as possible. You take your mask off, you take a drink, and then you put it back on, okay? So I understand that you're kids, and sometimes you might forget for a minute, but as long as I remind you, hey, put your mask back on, you're like, okay, and you put it back on, not a problem. I understand that's gonna happen sometimes. But if you're like, I'm not wearing a mask, then it's a whole process. So if you are being defiant and choosing not to wear a mask, since there was an option of being online, there will be consequences. So, and that is not coming from us, that is coming from the district. So if you are being defiant and choosing not to wear a mask and making a decision to take it off when you're not supposed to, we will be sending you to the dean's office every time. And then there are consequences from there. So I will have this in a paper copy that you and your parents will both sign. And then here's an expectations checklist. So this basically aligns with STARS: safety, teamwork, academics, respect, and service. Okay, so you will put your initials. So my first name starts with an L, so I would put LS, because my last name is Sherman, on each line. LS, 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 and then I would use student sign and parent sign. Okay. There will be a safety contract and a safety video coming out soon, so be on the lookout for that. But for now, if you have any questions with the syllabus, please answer them in the question that I leave for you. Okay? And I will see you soon.